And welcome to Mike Ferry TV. It's the week of August 31st. Hey, listen, September, October, November, December, and the year is done. How are you doing? Are you progressing? Are you taking advantage of the marketplace we have today? It's a good market compared to what we went through 5 years ago. Are you working every day, following your schedule, doing your lead generation, strong in your lead follow-up, pre-qualifying every customer every time, no exceptions, reading the scripts to the buyers and sellers and using the scripts effectively? Are you role-playing and practicing? Do you have accountability partners in your business, in your life? Are you doing the job that you've been asked to do when you take a listing, or is the seller wondering what the heck you're doing? These are all things we have to look at as we look at September, October, November, and December. Okay, last week we talked about the amiable, a wonderful group of people. I wrote some thoughts down. When working with the amiable personality, they have a high need for approval and at the same time want everybody around them to feel comfortable and approved. When dealing with this personality, refer to the fact that you want the next person you talk to feel as good about the property as they feel. This will bring the close to them very quickly and very effectively. Now remember, guys and gals, if we're not willing to take the time to understand all four personality styles, a couple of you have written in and said, but Mike, this is a lot of work. Hey, it's your job. All right, so let's do this. If you're doing 25 deals a year and you're losing 25 because you don't understand this, how much is that costing you? That's a pretty expensive job. We're going to look now at the fourth style, what we call the analytical. I want to share with you, though, I was doing some training for some of our coaches in Fort Lauderdale a couple of years ago. And I took a white sheet of paper and I drew the four boxes, put the four styles in it. And we agreed that some of our clients and prospects are in box 5. Now you're going to say, wait a minute, analytical, driver, expressive, amiable, that's 4. What's box 5? Idiots. We deal at times, you deal at times, we see at times people that just aren't playing with the full deck. I really want to do a lot of business, but I hate people. Box 5, idiot. I really like what you're teaching, Mike, but it's not for me because you don't understand my customers. Idiot, box 5. Mike, you don't understand. I don't believe in this whole concept of conversation, communication, talking to people. Idiot, box 5. I'm assuming none of you are in box 5. Some of you may be in box 4, the analytical. Now, there's a person that really can tediously slow down the sales process to a halt if you allow it when you're in presenting. If you're an analytical, the hardest thing for you is to adjust to what we teach by using blind faith. The analyticals, more than anybody, have to use blind faith. The analyticals, more than anybody, have to role play in practice. The analyticals, more than anybody, have to really pour this stuff into the subconscious mind. So rather than click, 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 it just comes out in a flow. So let's look at some of the interesting characteristics of the analytical. Generally very low on their emotional response. That's a big response for the analytical right there. You saw it. Generally slow in the decision-making process. I can't make a decision. I need to get more information together. Very good. Very structured and organized. That's why they're so heavily involved in technology, engineering, in law, in medicine, accounting, because they are structured and organized, and that's what we want. You don't want an expressive building a bridge, because the bridge will be going in 9 directions. Or as I've always said, I don't want an expressive pilot flying a plane. They'll try to do loop-to-loops. You want an analytical in this job. They require facts, figures, and details, which they do. They follow procedures very carefully. The challenge that we have with you that are analytical is convincing you to follow the procedures very carefully. They could be considered to be a perfectionist. I don't think they could be. They're perfectionists, okay? Very good at problem solving. Very disciplined with their time. They have a dry, witty sense of humor and appear to be quiet and cool, okay? Now, if it is true the 25% of all the people we deal with fall into the analytical category, it is not uncommon for them to be employed as engineers, CPAs, computer people, doctors, lawyers, airplane pilots. When presenting to them, Give them the information they require so they can make a decision, and don't push them because they'll respond by withdrawing. Now, let's stop for a second, okay? There are two groups of people that have a hard time with the word no. There's two groups of people that have a hard time with confrontation. And that is, of course, the amiable and the analytical. Very hard time with confrontation. If a seller gets mad, the analytical and amiable back up. The driver and expressive push forward. So this whole theory of confrontation becomes a big part of this whole process of understanding personality styles. If you're saying to yourself, well, Mike, okay, I am analytical or I'm amiable, and I don't want to go in there and be pushy. I don't want to be a salesperson. I don't want to be, one of those pushy real estate agents. I want to try to understand them. Great. Try to understand them. But remember that when they push back, which everybody does to everybody all the time, you can't withdraw. Because confrontation is an opening for you to become a great salesperson and display your skills. Confrontation is an opportunity for you to ask questions, to hear what's going on, and to understand them a little bit better. Confrontation is an opening for you to demonstrate how good you really are. You have to accept it. So let's do this, okay? I'm going to go back to the beginning. The expressive, okay? Fast in decisions, high in terms of emotion, very gregarious, outspoken, open and spontaneous, appear to be rushing around, which they appear to be doing. They like being the center of attention, rarely allow themselves to be bored, and normally always late. The amiable, high emotional response, slow in decision making, warm and friendly, which they are, very agreeable, great team player because they're very supportive, soft-hearted, empathetic for others, good for working on the common goal, soft-spoken, easygoing manner. The driver, low in emotion, makes their decisions quickly, very control-oriented and will take control. They love the action, forceful, get things done, considered to be dominant, bottom line oriented. They seemed rush and impatient, which I am, and appears to be aloof and arrogant most of the time. And then category 4, the analytical. Low on emotion and emotional responses, slow in decision-making process, very structured and organized, require facts, figures, and details, follows procedures carefully, which they do. That's why they make a great doctor, a great pilot, okay? Could be considered a perfectionist. I want a doctor or pilot that's a perfectionist. Good problem-solving skills. I want an analytical doctor pilot when problems take place. Disciplined with time, dry, witty sense of humor, appears to be quiet and cool. Now, remember, here's what we have to do. First of all, you have to determine who you are, and you have to be honest. And then take this information and go to your spouse and your kids and some of your friends, explain it to them and ask them what they think you are. Many times who you think you are and who they think you are totally different. Because it's not who you are, it's how people see you is who you are. Now listen to what I said. It's not who you think you are, it's how people see you is who you are. I want you to take a look at your prospects, your leads, your sellers, your buyers, your transactions that are pending in escrow, and I want you to look at how you're going to deal with each of these people. I want you to go back and study the pre-qualifying process for both a buyer and a seller. I want you to study the scripts for buyers and sellers. I want you to be so comfortable that when they answer, you can listen to what they say. Too often we can't listen to what they say because we're so busy thinking about what we're going to ask next. And that applies to all 4 personalities. It's a big job. What if it takes you 12, 18, 24 months of studying and paying attention? Just think how big your business will be in December 2016. One thing I know for sure, we're going to be there supporting you. We're going to be there helping you get there. All we need is your input, your action, and your commitment to doing it yourself. Next week, we're going to talk about the one word that brings all 4 personalities together, and that is the word versatility and how to develop more versatility. Have a great week. Watch this video time and time again. Study the 4 styles and get your business and your production up. See you next week.